Hey there, and welcome to Wandering Works for Us. We're Shelley and Beth, a married couple living in Portugal and exploring the world one story at a time. Come wander with us as we laugh through language fails, cultural surprises, and GPS disasters, and discover just how amazing this world can be. Hey everybody, and welcome back to our podcast, Wandering Works for Us. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Beth.
And today we are finally back from our big UK trip, and we have rested for the week. Some of us haven't peopled, or some of us tried not to people.
I peopled a little.
I tried not to people, but people kept showing up.
They did.
Crazy people.
It was nice to be missed.
It was nice to be missed, yes. I will agree to that.
Because we were gone 2 weeks.
2 weeks in the UK. It was a very good trip.
We missed the last bit of the craziness in August here in Portugal. We went somewhere that was cooler, and it was a good plan.
It was sort of a good plan.
What do you mean?
Well, we left the village to try to escape all the crowds that were in the village.
True.
Our village was probably twice the size in people
I
that
would
it
agree
normally,
with that.
Yeah, that it normally was. So I was like, we need to get away from all these people. But what did we do?
Well,
We went to where there's more people.
we did. Edinburgh,
Crowded.
London and Edinburgh were both very crowded. But, well, actually, that's not true. London was not quite as crowded, remember?
No, London wasn't too bad.
It's
at
like
all.
we kind of hit that right. People had disappeared or something. They had gone on vacation.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the first night we were there, we went to a pub to have dinner, and we were the only people in there. I'd even made reservations trying to get in, hoping that we were going to get into a place that night. And
Yeah. It was kind of hilarious.
yeah, we walk in, and there's like nobody.
They're like, sit anywhere. Pick a seat. We'll talk about that in a minute. That was fun.
Yeah. But what do you want to talk about first?
Well, I think, why else did we go to London, Shelley?
Well, we needed to see Katey Bell before she left London.
We did. Hi, Katey.
Hey, Katey.
Our niece Katey was ending her time in London. She was there getting her master's, as we have said before, at King's College. And now, as we speak, she is back in the United States in North Carolina and looking for a job. And so we needed to, good luck, Katey. So we needed to see her one more time before she left. It sure was nice having her so close.
It was nice.
Yeah. So we went there first before our, quote, big Scotland trip.
Yes.
But we got to do some fun things.
What did we get to do while we were in London?
Well, so that first night, we had dinner at that pub we were talking about. Where
The
we're with
slaughtered lamb.
The Slaughtered Lamb. Isn't that a lovely title? It'd been recommended by a friend of ours who lives here in Portugal, but is from London or that area. And it was really good, wasn't it?
It was very good. We
Yeah.
highly recommend.
And the staff was hilarious.
Amazing too.
They were fun. They were,
Of course, we were the only ones they had to entertain.
yes, and they were very entertaining. They were really
Yes, they
great.
were.
I hope our really fun waiter from there is listening to this. And apologies in advance. We're having a hard time pronouncing your name now, but I think it is Toriro.
Toriro? Sounds right.
Yeah, he was fabulous. And he said he was going to follow us. So hopefully he's listening.
Hopefully.
And
And
hey,
if not,
if you
we're
are.
sending out guilt if you didn't.
Yes, that's right. But it was a great place to eat. Then the next day we walked around Mayfair first, which I had really not done. And it is gorgeous.
Yeah, Mayfair is a really nice area.
I mean, it's definitely one of, as Katey put it, one of the more posh parts.
Posh parts of London.
Posh neighborhoods, and it was indeed gorgeous. We took a lot of pictures.
But we had asked her to find us a brunch restaurant
Yes.
because she is the queen of brunch.
She is the queen of brunch.
And she found us a very nice place called Popina.
And they had shakshuka.
And not only did they have shakshuka, they had green shakshuka.
Yes. And how was that different?
It was spinach, kind of creamy spinachy.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't hot or
Instead
spicy
of the
at
spicy
all.
tomatoey.
Yeah, it was a little bit blander and milder, but I enjoyed it because I don't particularly want too spicy in the morning.
Yeah. Ready?
But they had fantastic flat whites.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Those were good. It was a really good place overall.
Yes.
And a woman walked by while we were there, and I ran outside because she had a big, fluffy Saint Bernard.
Aww.
And I got to pet him. His name is Bruno.
Hey, Bruno. I'm sure he listens.
I'm sure. I got a great picture of him. Anyway, then after brunch, we went to Buckingham Palace because it just so happened to be the time of year when the staterooms are open and you can go. They're open for about 8 weeks every year.
While the king goes to his
His
Balmoral,
other
Scotland,
places.
other nice place to live
Yeah.
when he vacations in Scotland.
Yeah. I thought the setup of this was very impressive. Of course, it would need to be robust, if you will, because last year 530,000 people went through there when it was open for that 8 weeks, which is quite amazing. So
There might have been that many people there the day we were. No, it wasn't that crowded.
it wasn't that crowded. I mean, it was crowded, but it wasn't that crowded. And so first you come in and you see the grand staircase and the entry hall area, and where you always see the royals, or at least I do because I watch things like this, coming out and getting into carriages to go somewhere. That's the entrance they come out of and pop into their carriage. So that was fun.
As one does.
As
pop
one
into
does.
their carriage.
Yes. So that was really fun. And we got to see a whole bunch of different staterooms while we were there. What was your favorite, Shelley?
I loved the grand halls where they had all of the artwork put up.
Yeah, the
That
picture
was
gallery.
the picture gallery. Those were very beautiful. One that I stayed in probably the longest going, was the throne room.
Yeah.
Because that's where they have all of the wedding pictures taken in there.
They have that dais, and they always position them around on that dais. Prince Charles and Diana had their pictures in there, and so did Kate and William. The investitures are all done in that room as well. And so if you've ever looked at pictures of people getting their investiture, you will.
What is an investiture?
It's when you become a dame or a sir or any of the other
When you get
designations.
knighted?
Yeah, like when you're getting knighted.
Oh.
And so, when you see the king, or William is doing it a lot these days, and, if you're getting knighted, you get the whole sword thing on the shoulders.
Yeah.
If you're getting your dame or your sir, you get a beautiful ribbon with a medal on it kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like,
Pomp and circumstance.
yeah, like Dame Judi Dench, she's gone through that. But lots of people get those designations for service to the crown or to the community, really, and you've really never heard of them. Then there are many famous people that also get them, like Sir Rod Stewart.
Okay.
Did you know he's a sir?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So anyway, that all happens in the throne room.
That's a bit too much for me.
I know. So we also saw, though, the green drawing room, the blue drawing room, and the white drawing room.
Because you must designate the colors.
Yeah, and they are actually those colors. One of the things I thought was really cool in the white drawing room is there is a secret door
Oh, yeah, that was kind of cool.
built into the wall for
Yeah.
the royals to enter.
It was behind a mirror. It
Yeah,
was kind of
unobtrusively, and they showed you that. That was pretty cool. And then kind of connecting all that in the middle is this picture gallery that we talked about. And then we got to see the state dining room, the ball supper room, and the ballroom. The ballroom is where they do those dinners when you see they're for a
The
hundred
big state dinner.
100 people, and you see them measuring the flatware as they put it out. I'm sure it's silver, silver.
Like you would in a castle great hall.
Yes, exactly. So we got to see all of that, and I can't remember which part of this tour has never been opened before, but there were one or two areas.
I was going to ask you because there was an 18 something room, like an 1814 room or an 18 or
Yes. And was it also known as the Bow Room? I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know about that.
Yeah.
What they do is when you get your tickets, you get a self-guided tour. So it's a self-guided audio tour with a little thing that looks like your phone. It's not your phone, and earphones. And then you make your way through the staterooms and click on it, and they'll tell you all about it. And they're doing a lot of renovations in there right now too, so they'll tell you all about the renovations. But the last room that we went through before we went out to the gardens, it's a year, but I don't remember what year it was, but it's where the king now receives a lot of famous people or people that come to see him.
Correct.
And we got to see that room, and that was apparently not open to the public very often. So.
Yeah. The current king, his belief is that these palaces that are owned by the people, that you should be able to see them more often, and you should be able to see more of them. And so I believe he is starting to open up more rooms. I heard that the visitation may be longer than 8 weeks before long. That also has something to do with the fact that the Queen chose during the week, her and Prince Philip lived there. It was actually their residence. On the weekends, they went to a different place. During the week, it's all the staff, all the administrative activities, and she chose to live there. But now, Charles and Camilla, King Charles, Queen Regent Camilla, are living still at Clarence House, which is, you could literally hit it with a stone from Buckingham Palace, just
with
about.
With a good arm.
With a good arm. And don't do that. They might shoot you. But... But they have chosen to stay there, which is where they lived when his mother, the Queen, was still alive. And William and Kate have already said that they will not be living in Buckingham Palace when they are king and queen. So I think Buckingham Palace is turning into much more of an administrative and a state reception kind of building. And then they will live somewhere else, which...
I mean, come on. They got thousands of properties.
Yeah.
Let them, you can live with it wherever you want.
Yeah.
But not only has King Charles decided that these residencies need to be opened up to the public, but back when the Queen was still alive and she was living there, somebody actually broke into the palace.
Yes.
And sat on her bed and had a whole conversation with her.
You had a little chat with her.
Yep. And when they went to prosecute him for trespassing, well, he got off because technically it's a public place.
Yeah.
So they kind of made it so that 6 to 8 weeks out of the year, while we're gone somewhere else, we will open this up to the public. And that way the public people can still pay for it and we get to live there.
Yeah. I know.
Ask me how I feel about a monarchy.
Yeah. Shelley's not into the monarchy. I think it's very complicated, would be my answer. While it's around, I surely enjoy it. Just all the pomp and circumstance and, all of that. I don't know. I love it. One of the cool things I thought is when you were done, you came out into the gardens. Mm-hmm. And I immediately recognized as I came out those doors, oh my gosh, this is how the royals come out to greet the people at the summer garden parties.
Aww.
Because that's the big lawn there that everybody's always standing on. I thought that was really cool that we got to see what that was like.
Yep, we sat out there and had some very expensive bottled water.
We did.
And just kind of, watch the people go by, answered a survey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it was a long walk, though, out of that park.
It was because it is the largest privately owned park.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, there's lakes, there's swans, there's all kinds of things. And it is quite beautiful. Also, I would like to give a shout out to the staff at Buckingham Palace that guided us through this entire experience. Everyone from the ticket taker to the people who were guiding you to the people who just everybody was so nice. They were friendly. They acted like they were actually enjoying their jobs, what they were doing. You know, you don't go many places anymore where they are universally from beginning to end just lovely. And these folks were. So I was quite impressed by the staff.
And they helped you out a lot because you were having trouble with your knees and climbing all those stairs. So they helped you find the lift.
They did.
And take the shortcuts around.
Yeah, I still got to see everything.
The rest of us had to climb the stairs.
Yeah, I said, I'll meet you at the top. And took off on the elevator. And it was fun because the sweet woman, I wish I remembered her name, who went up in the elevator with me, was chatting with me about where I'm from. And I said, well, I live in Portugal. And she said, I'm coming to Portugal next year. I hope she's listening because I gave her a card. So I told her to go there and get some good tips. I think she's going to Porto.
Ooh, I love Porto.
Yeah. After that, what did we do, Shelley?
We went and drank beer.
We did.
Because, it was my turn to have fun.
So we went to a pub that was built in 1775.
Oh.
What was it called?
Bag of Nails.
Bag of Nails. I love the names of pubs.
I do too. That's
great.
Really cool. Yeah, part of our excitement for this whole trip was being able to drink beer that's different than the beer we get here in Portugal.
Yeah.
Like some real ales and some
real
more
ales.
craft things that have a little bit more hops. And I mean, not that
Yeah.
we can't get that here. It's just not as common. And pubs aren't common. Dark, wood pubs are just not common.
Yeah.
Here. So it was fun to pop into one of those and have an afternoon ale and look at all our pictures and decide what we were going to do next. Of course, we could not take pictures inside of Buckingham Palace. So all of our pictures were outside of Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. Once you went out the door, you could take pictures in the garden. I took them at the front where, the guard in the bearskin hat is standing. But once you're inside, you can't take pictures. So went to Bag of Nails. I always want to say Bag o' Nails for some reason, but went to Bag of Nails and hung out there for a while. And then Katey had left us at that point to go do an interview. That's right. She had an interview. And then we all met up again to eat at a restaurant we have been wanting to eat at for a long time. Dishoom. It's an Indian restaurant. It is what I would call a gourmet Indian restaurant.
I suppose.
Upscale Indian.
Maybe upscale, yeah.
I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it is fantastic.
There's locations all over London.
Yeah, there are several.
Edinburgh.
There's one in Edinburgh. Didn't we? Oh, yeah, and we found one in
Glasgow.
Yeah, one in Glasgow, too. So we finally ate there, and I thought it was delicious. What did you think?
I thought it was very good, too. I enjoyed the food. I'm not sure that it earned the hype that we'd been getting, but knowing us, we hyped it up.
Yeah, in our heads.
We hyped it up because our friends really loved that restaurant and had been recommending it, and we kept missing out on it, and so I think we just got so excited. Yeah. But it is really good food.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. And the service was good.
I mean, everything about it was good, and we ended up eating across the river over on Katey's side of town.
Yes.
So that she could easily get back to her place at night, and we
at the power plant.
It was the power plant where Harry Styles lives.
Oh yeah, where Harry Styles lives. Yeah, that was
some
cool.
Other famous people I don't know, but
yeah. We actually stayed this time in kind of the Black Friar area.
I loved that area.
I did too. I really liked it.
It was very different from Westminster. It wasn't so touristy. It was where real people kind of lived. Yeah. There were young professionals walking up and down the streets trying to get to work while we stood in the middle of the sidewalk and impeded their way.
Yeah, exactly.
And I enjoy being around the Black Friars too because, Well, I'm a big fan of The Discovery of Witches, the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. Shout
Indeed.
out over there. And her second novel takes place in the Black Friars, but it's 1590 Black Friars. So it's a very different place. But at the same time, I got to go walk around that area and just see different buildings and pubs and kind of get a feel for it. And while we were over there, we saw St. Paul's Cathedral.
We did. That was the next day. And I had been there before, but it had been 20 years probably.
Wow.
If you listen to this podcast or read our blogs, you know that I love a church. And St. Paul's is magnificent. And I was so glad to go back again. And of course, you got to see it for the first time.
I got to see it for the first time, and in its historical context also, because there are a lot of famous people buried there. It was the one thing that didn't get bombed during World War II, so it was a sign of hope. And then it had burned in 1666, so it was a very different church before then. It was very Gothic, and there's lots of pointy things on top of the church. That's how much I know about architecture.
We'll just go with pointy things.
There were pointy things on top of the church. And so when it burned, Christopher Wren, the famous architect, came in and rebuilt this church, as he rebuilt 53 churches in London.
Yeah.
And a pub we happened to visit and have lunch at.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. St. Paul's is where Diana and Charles got married.
Yeah, I didn't know that until after we went
Shelley
there.
did not know that.
I went back and looked at something and said, wait a minute, I didn't know this is where they got married.
After we'd been there. Anyway, it was where they got married, and it's just an amazing cathedral. It is very much worth seeing. It is very much worth climbing up to the upper area to look out. We did not do that this time because, my knees. I did it before, and it's worth doing. And then they have a whole underground,
a crypt.
A crypt. They have a crypt, and it's huge. It goes under most of the church.
Yeah, it really does. It goes under all of the church, I think.
And there are many famous people who are either honored that have died, and they've honored them with a plaque or something, as well as there are people who are buried there, including Sir Christopher Wren, the architect. I thought it was really interesting that at one point, there are these gates that you walk through, and they're beautiful metal gates that are just kind of dividing space. And they put those up in honor of Winston Churchill after he died, which they had never done anything that big for anyone non-royal. So it really shows how important he was.
I think I was more impressed with Wellington's grave than I was the gates.
Yeah, that's right.
Just because it was huge, and yeah, Wellington keeps popping up in all of the history. He's big here in Portugal because he fought here during the Napoleonic Wars. So
yeah,
he keeps just coming into my spectrum. So to actually stumble upon his grave, so to speak, as we were walking through, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So don't miss the crypt downstairs, so to speak. It's worth doing it. Oh, and it's also the way you go out, because you get to see
because you got to exit through
the gift shop, as always. Now, the tavern we mentioned is called the Old Bell. It was built in 1678, and Christopher Wren built it for his masons to actually live in and eat in. They were rebuilding the church called St. Bride's Church directly behind that pub, and that was also after the fire. And then it became a favorite haunt, if you will, for all the journalists and the printers and everything.
That was on Fleet Street, wasn't it?
Fleet Street.
Yeah.
Fleet Street, which is where all the journalists and the printing and all of that was. And so it became this hangout of all the Fleet Street workers. And it's still there. It's still good. We had a nail.
And we had, did we have a pie?
Oh, yeah, we did have a pie.
Because they have award-winning pies.
That's right.
We had a steak and ale pie.
We did. Highly recommend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the rest of that afternoon, we decided we needed to take a break. Beth goes back to the hotel. I go and find a bookstore, of course, because yay, books. And then later that night, Katey comes and meets up with us, and we go to see a play.
Yes.
And not just any play.
Not just any play. Sean Hayes, just Jack from Will and Grace, Sean Hayes, he had been on Broadway. There was a play that was written really with him in mind. True story about a famous pianist.
Oscar Levant.
And he had been on Broadway with it for a limited run. I can't remember how long he was on, but he had won at least one Tony, if not two, for that. And he brought it to London.
He won one Tony.
He won one Tony?
Best actor. Yes.
Oh, yes. Well, I was thinking the play might have won others. I didn't know.
I don't know.
So anyway, he came to London to do it for a limited run. And I think it was only supposed to be 3 weeks, and it ended up being 7 because it kept selling out. But we got to go and see it, and it was incredible.
It was really incredible.
It was really fun to see Sean Hayes on stage.
And it was a very different role than we're used to seeing him in, but it also shows the depth of him as an actor.
Yes.
And a pianist.
He actually made his living before he made it as an actor as a concert level pianist. He played in the pits on Broadway for all kinds of musicals, which I thought was fascinating. I didn't know that. I knew he played the piano, but I didn't know how well he played. And he was incredible.
He was. The finale of that show was amazing. I mean, the rest of it, you're sitting there and you're going down this story or this one night with Oscar Levant on the Jack Parr show, the Tonight Show with Jack Parr in the 1950s. And at the very end, you get to see him perform on this piano, and it is riveting. It's like you can't stop watching.
And it went on for maybe 10 minutes.
I don't know. Rhapsody in Blue by Gershwin is a very long song.
Just playing
but
and playing.
It just felt like that was the whole third act.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I understand why he won the Tony. And I feel so fortunate to have been able to see it.
Yes. Now, I will say that we were unfortunate enough to see it in the Barbican Theater.
Oh, boy.
Guys, that has got to be one of the worst theaters ever built.
I mean, it's awful. And the reason they did that instead of one of the better theaters on West End is because it's a limited run.
It was supposed to be a very limited run.
And so,
oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad.
The seating was not very comfortable. It was hard to get to your seats. They didn't have rows in between the aisles that you could walk down to easily get to one section or another. You had to start at one end and walk all the way to the middle if you were in the middle.
Yes.
And not only were we in the middle, we were in the balcony middle. And
yeah.
How many toes did I step on to get there?
I bet we had to climb over 25 people.
Yeah, that is just not the best theater.
Yeah.
But the performance made up for it.
It was incredible.
So that was the end of our London trip. And we'd only planned to be there for 3 days tops because our big part was going to be spent in Scotland. But first we had to get to Edinburgh.
We did.
And what better way to do that than take a train?
That's what we did.
From King's Cross.
So what did we get to see, Shelley?
Platform 9 3/4.
We did.
It was awesome.
It
was small.
I had heard that you could visit it, and all that. I didn't know that there was this whole setup where you go up to it and they kind of help you pose and then they take a picture of you.
Yeah. It's a gimmick.
Yeah, it is. But it is also, if you're a huge Harry Potter fan, it is also cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there is a store that you can shop in right next door to it.
And buy your photos.
Oh, yes.
If somebody didn't stand on the side and take
and buy your
picture.
photos. It was still cool. I'm glad we walked down there and saw it.
We weren't there. We were there too early to hear the announcement for the Hogwarts students. They do that on September 1st.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. And we had gotten to the train station way too early because we heard this place is huge and it might be hard to find your train or figure out where you're going.
Uh-huh.
That is not the case.
No, it was easy.
King's Cross was easy.
It was very easy. And so we wandered on down and saw the platform 9 3/4. We got a coffee. We hung around.
Yeah. We hung around until they called our train.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
you know, once they did, we just popped right on.
And then we took it was 4.5 hours
4.5 hours
to Edinburgh.
A few stops in between.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful scenery in between.
It was beautiful.
And
Comfortable train.
Yes. I like train travel a lot.
I do too. I like it. Well, I like it more than bus travel if it doesn't take you twice as long.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we did take a lot of buses while we were in Scotland, and those were very convenient and were perfect for what we were doing. But if I had the choice between a bus and a train, I'd pick a train.
Take the train.
Yeah.
Because the train from Glasgow to Edinburgh was actually shorter than the bus ride.
Yeah.
But, you know, we do whatever is convenient
Yes,
when we're
indeed.
traveling.
And sometimes what's cheapest.
But
Yeah.
while we were in Edinburgh, we got to check something else off your bucket list. It was bucket list trip for
Oh, my
Beth here.
goodness. And it really didn't start out that way. I don't know how that happened. Before we dive into that, though, we need to talk about where we had drinks and dinner before this bucket list thing I did.
Makars Mash. I know
Yes.
where we ate.
Makars Mash. Oh, my gosh.
It was incredible. It really was. It's a great restaurant that what they do is you have a choice between chicken, beef, and lamb, I believe. They might even have a pork dish. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember
So
either.
you kind of choose your meat. And we all ended up choosing lamb, a lamb shank. But they serve it on top of this bed of mashed potatoes that you get to choose what kind of mashed potatoes you want. And they had at least 8 different kinds.
I got horseradish.
I got Applewood smoked cheese.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Oh, it was so good.
That will be a place that every time we're in Edinburgh, I want to go eat.
Yes, I know. And we were with our friends, Knockin' Allen.
Hey,
Hi, Knockin' Allen. We all really, really liked it. It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Wasn't that place recommended by...
It was recommended by Elise and Richard. It was so funny. They recommended 2 places because they had just been to Edinburgh. And I had them in my head. And then when we were talking to Knockin' Allen, because we were going to have 2 meals with them, they suggested 2 places. It was the same
It
2
was
places.
the same 2 places, but
So
I think they had read the post too.
So we got to go to both of those. Makars Mash, maybe, or
Is it
Maker.
Maker, Makars Mash?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know why I think it's Makars.
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
think we got confused with
Yeah.
our English.
You know, sometimes we're a mess.
we
We're in the Portuguese. We're trying to do the Scottish. Sometimes we're a mess.
It's very confusing. But
So-
anyway, great place to eat. They have 2 locations. Go to either. You know,
Yeah.
it's very good.
They're right there
Kind of
next.
right behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right around the corner from each other. It's not
Yeah,
far.
they're great. And then we got to go to the bucket list thing for me, which was the tattoo.
The Edinburgh
Military
Tattoo.
tattoo. The Royal Military Edinburgh Tattoo, because they got the royal designation a few years ago.
Would it be the Edinburgh Royal Military Tattoo?
It might be. I don't know.
Where do you put all the words? Anyway, was it a real tattoo?
Well, it's funny because a friend of mine, when I posted about the tattoo, said, "Oh my gosh, I thought you were actually going to get a real tattoo while you were in Edinburgh." She didn't know what the tattoo was. So, Shelley,
Explain the tattoo?
let's talk about first just the setup for this thing, because it is incredible. They have stands like stadium seating, and it's fairly steep, so everybody has a good view of basically the front courtyard, which is massive.
The Esplanade.
The Esplanade. Esplanade. Esplanade, I think. Going into the actual Edinburgh Castle, which is, by the way, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So they build these stands every year, and they start in early June. It takes about 6 or 8 weeks. Then after the tattoo ends, it takes about 4 or 6 weeks to disassemble them. Next June, they start all over and put them up again. I think it's fascinating that they do that. Both things, massive tourist visitors to Edinburgh Castle, when it's not the military tattoo, and the military tattoo are big numbers of people coming. And so I guess it's worth it. But the other thing is they have to put all this stuff up, and they have to have all these toilets and all these places to buy things and all this stuff, and nothing can be attached to the stone that it is standing on.
So it has to be self-standing.
It has to all be self-standing because it's a UNESCO site. And so everything has to be modular and fit that sloping shape of the esplanade, because that's volcanic rock that the castle is sitting on.
Oh, okay.
So
Which
anyway,
makes it pretty hard.
It's just fascinating to me that they do that. And then they don't start the performance until after it's dark. And they do these incredible projections actually on the castle itself.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So this year it was the 75th anniversary of it. And when it started out, it was just sort of like a military tattoo.
Like a military band parade.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. It's the pipes and the drums and the general marching band, performing for the public.
And it was really, originally the word tattoo was a signal played by the drummers in the 17th century to tell soldiers to leave the taverns and return to the barracks. And then it became
bullshit.
Yeah, really. Then it became associated with these evening military music things. And then 75 years ago, it started, the first year it was 1950. There were only about 6,000 people that saw it. And now they do it for, I can't remember how many weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And it's 8,000 people every night. It has turned into this global, kind of thing. And they have performers from all around the world. And about 220,000 people attend every year in total. Oh, here we go. It received the title Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo in 2010 is when it started being called that. So,
because like Judi Dench, it's a national treasure.
That's exactly right. So it was, it's really hard to describe to somebody who hasn't seen it. It is so moving. It's all of these bagpipers, or pipers for short, and drums, and they have all these different companies of them, because these people are actually in the military. And so there's these they call them the mass bands, so it's like 12 different companies together. At least it was this year for the 75th anniversary. That many bagpipes and drums playing is just something that is a sight to behold. And then they have all these guests as well. The military band from the Ukraine was there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They had a lot of Ukrainian dancers come in and do the dancing. They had the Swiss come in. Who were the ones with the big, giant calling horn?
They were from...
I'll come back to those.
The Alps.
Okay, well, that's a lot.
Yeah,
were they Swiss?
No, they weren't Swiss, but they were, because they had those horns.
Yeah, they had the horns
that rest on the ground.
They might have been from Poland.
I think they were from Poland.
Okay, so they had a band come from Poland that had the large horns that come out, the Alps call, the ones you see on the Ricola. commercials, you know, when they do the horns.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
It was.
They had this secret drum corps from Switzerland.
Yep. The top secret drums.
They were amazing. They were a very good drum line.
Their precision and the sort of tricks they did, you know, where they tossed their sticks and did all kinds of things, was amazing. Oh, and then there was the U.S. Air Force.
Yep, the Air Force came.
And they do the gun thing where they
flip the guns around. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, it was precision, and it was saber. You know, they had the pointy knife things in the end of the gun, whatever those are called. Yeah, it was really cool. And then, of course, there were, I want to say, 100 at least Highland dancers.
Yes.
The whole time these different groups are performing and different music is going on, and sometimes people playing fiddles or violins came out and stood at the bottom while the Highland dancers were dancing, and all the whole time there were projections on the castle. It was quite the show. And then toward the end, they had a thing that I can hardly talk about. I get kind of emotional about it. They had, in every major aisle of the stands, it was filled with a choir.
Well, this choir were volunteers.
Oh, yeah, they were all volunteers.
No, I mean, they're not a professional choir. They were volunteers for the show.
To form the tattoo choir, yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what they were called. So they were from all over, but they sang, and the sound just rang out. It was amazing. It was just amazing. The tattoo is something I would go to over and over again because it's so incredible. Although we did hear that this year was sort of the perfect time to go because it was the 75th anniversary. So there were more pipes and drums there. We got lucky with the weather. We didn't even get cold. We didn't get rained on. We didn't get cold. It was great.
Yeah, everybody told us to dress warmly when you're up there in the bleachers. It gets really cold at night. The weather was so mild that I only put my jacket on at the end.
Yeah.
I wasn't cold.
I was in short sleeves.
It was an amazing performance. I love the pipers and the drums.
Ugh.
All the other bands were like, meh. I'm not a big marching band person. Sorry, hon.
It's okay.
But the pipes and the drums were really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And the dancers. They were fun, too. Because you got to see the traditional sword dances that they do.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Or they lay them on the ground and cross over them. Yeah, so highly recommend the Edinburgh Tattoo should anyone be in Edinburgh when it's going on. And then to, I think, round out this podcast, we did do something else in Edinburgh, a different day on this trip. We went back to see Knocknallen for lunch, and we went to the Writers' Museum.
I went to the Writers' Museum.
That's true. I went into the Writers' Museum. It's not that I wasn't interested. It's just that it was this tiny little vertical space where I had to climb and then come back down, which is hard for my niece.
So I went to the Writers' Museum. Like you said, it was in a small kind of building. And to get to each display, you had to go up very narrow, steep steps or down narrow, steep steps.
And it was cool. I mean, the building was very cool.
It really was. It highlights Robert Louis Stevenson, Robert Burns, and Sir Walter Scott. And so you got to see displays on each writer, and you got to kind of go through their history of living or being born in Scotland and what inspired them to write the things that they wrote. And I was surprised myself knowing more about these writers than I thought I did. Because, of course, Robert Louis Stevenson, I love him anyway because he wrote Treasure Island. So, of course, I know the pirate stories. But I didn't realize that I had actually memorized a Robert Burns poem when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Didn't know that until I was like, oh, that was him? Oops. And then Sir Walter Scott, I cannot remember was he Auld Lang Syne or was that Robert Burns?
I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but I had some sort of connection with each one of them, and it was neat. The last time we were there, when we did the Harry Potter tour, which you can hear on our Edinburgh podcast episode, we walked through that area, the Writer's Walk, and it has a lot of stones that are dedicated to writers that had lived in Scotland. And the only way you can get one of those stones is to die.
Right.
But the Writers Museum highlights these 3 specific authors. And we didn't do that last time, so I decided I needed to.
Yeah.
And then we met Knock and Allen for lunch at Howies, which was a very good restaurant, a very traditional Scottish restaurant, but upscale. And you had the haggis.
Oh, it was so good.
Which was apparently very good.
The haggis and tatties.
I ironically had codfish for lunch. And the irony is, codfish is a major dish here in Portugal. There's recipes for every single day of the year. The difference is this is salted codfish here in Portugal. That was fresh and pan-seared, and it was delicious. And then after that, we went up to Johnny Walker's Rooftop Bar.
We did.
Which used to be Fraser's department store back in the day.
Yeah.
Because when we walked into it and we went through a couple rooms and you were like, this is like a department store.
They did a great job redoing it, but once I knew it was a department store, I'm like, yep, I can see that. But it was really, the reason to go up there, I mean, we had an overpriced drink and it was good. But the reason to go up there is the view.
Yes.
It's a great view of Edinburgh.
And go up just to do that. I mean, yes, you're going to have to order drinks to be part of the bar because, they want reservations and they want to make their money. And otherwise, they'd have a ton of tourists up there taking pictures every day. But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth that 12-pound old-fashioned we had.
Yeah, yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was comfortable. I mean, we had nice lounge seats
afternoon.
To sit in, and it was great. I'm really glad we did it.
So I think that rounds out our trip so far. That's part 1 of our UK travels.
Yes.
And in our next episode, we will highlight our stays in Straven and Glasgow and our little side trip over to Dunblane to see David and Benita. Hi, David and Benita.
Hi, David and Benita. And Dune.
And Dune Castle. Woohoo!
Yes.
That was really cool.
So we'll talk about the rest of that when we come back in the next podcast.
Yep. Anything else we got going on? We're happy that the whole village is kind of quiet. Everything is very calm now.
Everything's back to what I would call normal.
And the weather is really beautiful.
Yeah,
it's still good beach days.
We're going to the beach later this week.
We're going to the beach later this week. I would always recommend September is a great time to come to Portugal and check it out.
Indeed.
But
not too many of y'all.
No, just pace yourselves, guys.
One at a time, please.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode.
I think so.
All right. So I will bid you a lovely boa tarde.
Boa tarde.
Thanks for wandering with us. If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just enjoyed the ride, be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, and I think that's it. Check out our website at www.forus, that's www.forus.com, and drop us a line at our email address at wandering@www.forus.com. We'd love to hear from you, your stories, questions, or favorite travel fails. Until next time, keep exploring, keep laughing, and remember, wandering works for us, and it just might work for you too.
That is seriously lemony.
It is too tart for me.
Ah.
Yeah. Do we put some more?
Oh my God, at least honey or something in it. I don't know. It's like the tonic's not even sweet enough.